Welcome to Politics NY's newest video series, In a Community With, sponsored by AARP. I'm Robert Pozaricki, Executive Editor of AM New York Metro. Today we'll be in the community with City Council member Keith Powers of Manhattan. He represents the 4th District, covering the neighborhoods of the Upper East Side, Midtown East, Times Square, Koreatown, Stuyvesant Town, Peter Cooper Village, Turtle Bay, Murray Hill, and Sutton Place. He's one of the longest tenured members of the current City Council, having been elected in 2017. And he's up for re-election this November to complete the 4-year term he won in 2021. Councilmember Powers, great to have you with us.
Thanks for having me.
All right. So let's start with the topic of ageism, which is something that is in every aspect of life in New York, in the workplace, street design, public transportation, services, to the built environment itself. What is one specific ageism issue that has had an impact on your community, and how would you address it?
Well, I think you nailed it. I think it's around the everyday, sort of life of traveling around the city. I hear from folks all the time about concerns around street structure, getting around in the city, transportation, obviously safety, being out on the streets. And for everyone, they obviously deserve the right to feel safe in the environment that they're in. And for a lot of folks, it gets harder as you get older to get around and to all the competing transit options here in the city right now to navigate that, and to also the built environment that we have here. So we have to be more mindful when we're constructing our streets, when we're doing everything here in the city, to make sure that we're incorporating the voices of those who are using it. And that includes many of our aging population.
And that segues into the AARP updating its livability index, which you may know is found at aarp.org. This scores neighborhoods and communities across the United States by the various services and amenities they provide: housing, transportation, health, etc. So, Councilmember Powers, what are some of those challenges in your district, and how are you using your position in the City Council to address them, make the district more livable for all residents?
Well, look, housing and rent's always a big part of it. And we did this great deal in Waterside Plaza for a lot of longtime residents, mostly seniors, to lower their rents, which was the New York Times called a rare thing, a rent break for senior citizens. We took the rents that were going up into the $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 range in some cases, bring them down to 30% of their income, freezing the rent and holding those apartments as affordable until year 20, almost 2100. So kind of remarkable. That's something in Stuyvesant Town, which has an aging population too. We fought to make sure that we protect rent regulation for every single person in this neighborhood, and we won in court. So a big part is rents, but everything that we do here costs money and has an impact on people's ability to live here in the city. Right now, in the post-COVID world, we're always obviously tackling the various challenges just about livability when it comes to people's quality of life and their safety. And lastly, health. We want to make sure we have a healthy population. So trying to institute policies that will make people healthier. One of the bills I'm working on, which isn't just about people that are a certain age, it's for everybody, is giving us better information about what's in our food. When you go to a restaurant, a fast food restaurant, we're talking about here, giving you better information about what's in your food. That's a bill I have in the City Council, so you can see when there's high sugar content inside of a beverage that you might drink every single day, and it causes health issues on you. So a lot of different health issues that we're focusing on as well. But they all work together, by the way. Yeah. Creates good neighborhoods where people can feel like they are safe, healthy, and they can afford to live.
You mentioned affordability, you mentioned health. Is there any one particular other issue that you see in your district that you'd like to that you've had to address for your constituents, and in terms of their quality of life?
Well, I hear all the time about our small businesses and how much they contribute to our neighborhood and how much they are additive to people's desire to live in a specific area or stay in New York City. And the challenges around small businesses are obviously well documented, but the COVID crisis contributed to those when we had to shut down, and the rising cost of rents, the competition that's out there. I've done a whole slew of bills here in the City Council over the last few years to help our small businesses. We passed a bill to suspend a tax on our restaurants and bars that we were charging during COVID. We passed, introduced a bill to get rid of a tax just on businesses located in Manhattan called the commercial rent tax. We just passed a new bill I sponsored to reform and update the outdoor dining rules that lets it stay, but addresses some of the issues there. We got rid of this random level of enforcement was happening on our storefronts from the Department of Buildings around their signage. We suspended that. We're doing a lot to make sure that our small businesses are getting a helping hand, not just being treated like they're a cash cow for the city or that couldn't over-regulate them. We did a bill to eliminate all these first-time fees fines that businesses have to pay. We should go out and try to help them fix the issue rather than charge them. So a lot around our small businesses, which comes from my dad was a small business owner. So I know that these things add up and they cause a lot of stress on the owners.
They certainly do. And just lastly, is there anyone in the district whom you've worked with over the past year that you would like to recognize for their positive impact on the community?
Oh my God. I just did a little mini town hall with all my tenant leaders, all my community leaders, every single one of them, from Stuyvesant Town, the Tenants Association, up to Carnegie Hill, with the Carnegie Hill neighbors, everybody in between, from 86th Street to 72nd Street to Kips Bay to you name it. I'm going to miss them all if I name them all, but we have great groups and really proud of the work that all these folks have been doing. And the one thing I give a shout out to is the folks in Kips Bay and Murray Hill who helped us advocate to put more money into the budget for a new park on the waterfront, which has been great. We also opened up a dog run there, which has been so well received for the folks in Murray Hill and Kips Bay. And we also did a lot of funding in St. Varden's Park, which is the centerpiece of that neighborhood for open space. So those folks have been doing a great job advocating for their neighborhood and community, and we've been delivering for them.
That's fantastic to hear. Well, Councilmember Powers, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you. Thanks always.
And that does it for this installment of In the Community With, sponsored by AARP. I'm Robert Pozaricki. Thanks very much and have a great day.